Welcome back, everybody, to the October Country Comics Podcast. This is Devon.
Will.
Jeremy.
Anastasia Beaverhausen.
Oh. How do I follow that? I'm just Kyle.
Beaverhausen.
I guess I could have said damn.
Oh, Kyle Dam.
No.
No.
Would you be the beaver to my dam?
Yes.
I'll give you my dam if you show me your beaver.
HR, you heard that, right? This is also recorded.
Wah, 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 wah.
Someone's getting Giardia here.
Giardia.
All right, so just fair warning for all you listeners out there: if you haven't read Daredevil, if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, pretty much if you're not caught up on anything, this is going to be a very spoiler-heavy podcast.
Yeah, let's just issue a big spoiler warning on this one.
Spoiler warning.
Just
everything is spoilery.
Spoilers for pretty much everything that's going on right now, so we want you to come to the store, catch up on everything, just so you're prepared before you dive head first.
I mean, also your Google feed probably ruined this. Everything we're going to talk about for you.
It is truly, though, a complete mixed day. You had such a high with The Mandalorian, and then you've got a low with things like I Am Not Starfire and DuckTales being canceled. So, I don't know.
Are you referring to the reveal of the new Starfire outfit for the Teen Titans live action?
No.
I'm referring to the book, I Am Not Starfire.
Oh.
There is a YA book called I Am Not Starfire. It pertains to her daughter by Marika Tomaki. And like the whole full title is I Am Not Starfire, and then like the running thing is she's a fat lesbian goth. And that is actually in the description of the book. I'm not being rude.
I believe the actual thing is body positive.
I think then they go into body positive later on.
No. They call her a body positive lesbian
Oh,
goth.
well, then the fat was ma'am. Sorry, everyone.
You're body shaming, Steven. That's what you're doing.
Damn you.
We're not going to talk about this. Did
we want to talk about the Teen Titans live action?
No.
Because that was even worse than her hooker outfit somehow. The new outfit they put her in, because they put out the statement on Twitter was she's actually becoming Starfire, and they got her in the outfit, and it's so weird. It's like purple, but it's got all like it looks like the Nightcrawler tattoos from X2, like all around. Like it's really weird.
Stop. No, you're hurting my soul. Okay,
all right, let's
talk about some real awesome stuff. Let's start this podcast off on a high note. Mandalorian. Fucking Boba Fett's back.
Yes, indeed.
He's in his armor.
We did. We got Boba Fett on screen, live action, being an actual fighter, kicking some ass.
It's probably the single greatest Star Wars moment of all time.
Especially for Boba Fett fans, I'd say that.
This is probably literally the greatest Star Wars moment of all time. It even surpasses the Obi-Wan Anakin lightsaber battle in Episode 3 for me. Because up until this moment, that was my favorite Star Wars moment.
You enjoyed that?
I enjoyed that scene.
Oh.
That's probably my favorite lightsaber battle of all time, next to Luke and Vader in Empire Strikes Back.
I gotta say, my favorite's Phantom Menace. Even though that's my least favorite, one of my least favorite Star Wars movies, I gotta say that Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul at the end, pretty dope. Just the choreography was really great. But we got some pretty.
I have to clarify though. Those are my favorite live action moments. Because there's so much stuff they do on the animated stuff that you can't do live action.
Exactly, yeah. But I gotta...
Like Yoda versus Dooku?
You mean Dooku?
No, Dooku. I'm going with Dooku.
Is that a bit? Okay. That's a bit I missed?
The name has to match the uselessness of the character.
We should, speaking of Star Wars, we should probably bring up the unfortunate Star Wars news that did come out this week.
The passing of Darth Vader.
Yes, David Prowse.
David Prowse.
Yes.
David Prowse, the suit actor for, I believe, at least the first two Star Wars films, 4 and 5, New Hope and the Empire Strikes Back. Excuse me.
Whole trilogy.
Whole trilogy?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Was he even the one that was unmasked?
He wasn't the one who got unmasked.
No.
Which is that poor man. Why?
Yeah, he really got the defendant
I
of the
will
stick on
say,
that
if
one.
you're a fan of the original Star Wars stuff, if you ever can find the undubbed copies of what it sounded like with him doing the Vader, the whole thing from inside the costume, it is hilarious.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. That's what that sounds. It's
He's also
it's pretty good.
He's also very British Darth Vader.
Yes. Very
Which is
British.
No, it makes sense for Brits to be in,
Did you ever watch Spaceballs?
Yes.
You know when he's got the dark helmet thing down and he's doing the voice? It just sounds like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's kind of like they're filming Kenobi now in Boston, and there's all those jokes about that. You know, the idea that everybody walking around, stormtroopers, wicked piss, I go to Dunkin', or go to get the dunk. Could you imagine Vader with a Boston accent?
I feel like all of it needs to be redone now. With Vader with
I
a
saw that
Boston.
comment on Twitter, actually.
just-
Somebody said, I need the original trilogy
Yeah,
done
dubbed
with all
over.
Boston
All
accents. And I was
Boston.
like, that would kill me.
Well,
These ain't the droids you're looking for.
well, won't they? I mean, won't the bad lip reading guys just do that?
Hey,
Probably.
I don't know what the hell you're thinking, but these ain't the fucking droids you're fucking looking for.
Those videos have been pretty good. But yes,
But yeah, no,
unfortunately,
Mandalorian, awesome. Boba Fett, amazing.
I gotta say, the standout scene for me is when he has to follow, after the Empire's taken Grogu up and Boba's chasing them up, he sees the thing and he's just like, well, fuck, they're back. All right, well, we had fun, but it's
love,
over.
And the great thing is like, I love how in like anything like this, like, and it happens in everything, horror, sci-fi, action, fantasy. The one guy who's literally staring something right in the face is like, yeah, so this is going on. And everyone's like, no, it's not. Okay, well, I guess I'm a liar. I'm just staring at it right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but he made the Star Wars equivalent of that. He says
Yes.
it's not a spice dream.
yes.
It's not I love that. It's not a spice dream. That was pretty good.
But it's like, it's like Bilbo telling everybody, yeah, there's the dragon's coming. No, he's not. He just tried to eat me. I'm pretty sure I'm right about
Yeah,
this.
guys, it would be a safer bet to just believe me, even if you don't. Like,
You got to see a different side of Boba Fett, though, on this one, too, which was kind of really interesting. Even for those that have read him for years.
Oh, yeah.
He actually has a little bit of a self-deprecating sense of humor at one point
Yes.
in time, which is kind of fun. And then he interacts with people and actually has some dialogue, which is
Yeah.
entertaining.
yeah,
for
He-
once.
I mean-
he's a character I definitely, now that I know him, because I've never read any of these, like, comics or anything like that. I've only seen the live action, and we didn't really get much other than him as a kid in Clone Wars. And from what I've seen, I want to see more of this character. He's an interesting person.
Let's put it this way. So, I mean, Boba Fett is an unaltered clone. I mean, he's basically just Jango Fett's biological son.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
And he has no enhancements. Again, super spoilers. He disfigures a stormtrooper helmet and
Many
face
stormtroopers.
with his bare hands.
Was that one with the bare hands?
Well,
Because I thought
yeah,
it was
gaffy
the
stick.
slice.
Yeah, but I mean,
Gaffy stick.
he
gets
used
it
his,
For those of you who may not know, a gaffy stick is the traditional weapon of the Tusken Raiders, not the rifle. It's the other thing they carry.
I'd love a Beskar counter on this episode. How many times the word Beskar was said between Mando and Boba, just back and forth.
I also
It was
like-
a lot in this one. I noticed
Yeah, it
that.
feels like 6 or 7, but
Yeah.
I watched the episode 3 different times already. So
In hindsight, it felt like a lot.
It literally is like the greatest Star Wars anything ever.
It's gonna be. I'm finally glad that we're gonna have some characters that are gonna go over into episodes that he can play off of and can develop more. Like, I've enjoyed the story so far, but that's like something that I enjoy. Like, he's had Dune and his old boss from when he was a bounty hunter.
Grief Karga.
Yes. And they only kind of show up and then, go do their thing. I like that we're going to have more characters.
Here's the thing. And Kyle he wasn't getting mad at me, but he kept telling me to shut up about it so the episode where he finally goes back to see Cara Dune and
Grief.
Grief Karga.
and Grief. I'm like, because there's no real determination of how much time's passed since the Mando left the planet at the end of season 1. So I'm like, he's like, oh, so much has changed. You guys are. I was like, you've been gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like what?
Like he's like he hasn't been gone for 2 weeks. He's been gone for like a while. I was like, I don't know. Like he doesn't seem like he's been gone that long.
Nobody seems
I
to
don't
have.
think they've specifically stated,
No,
but it feels like it's about 6 months. or
Yeah,
so.
I mean he's
Yeah.
definitely been gone for I mean I wouldn't even I'd say at
I'd
least
say maybe a month at most. I mean, just Mandalorian doesn't seem to take place over a long period of time. Like, it's definitely feels like it's supposed to take place within a certain point, within a certain time period, and just kind of stay there.
I mean I would say he's probably been gone for at least 2 to 3 months from there.
at most. At most.
I would say
I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no real clear determination aside from the fact that the child's still fresh in everyone's mind, and it's not like they would give up hunting him. So it's like he doesn't really have a lot of time, a lot of downtime, as it were.
Yeah, because everyone's like after him. There's a huge
Like,
bounty.
has he even done he hasn't done a bounty this season, has he?
Nope.
No, I think he's done. He's just on his sole focus is Grogu.
Grogu.
What an adorable name for an adorable little boy.
Super Jedi Grogu.
I love that because we didn't really talk about the last one because you hadn't seen it when we recorded.
Ahsoka.
We got Ahsoka as well, which that episode right on the gate. I think the opening shot is her igniting the lightsabers, which was dope. But I love that she could just communicate with him through the Force, just like, oh yeah. He was a little guy at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and they kind of just shoved him in a bag and smuggled him out.
I'm really gonna be happy about, and like this is one of those things where I would love to find out that Grogu survived because Anakin hit him. Like that would be a really cool thing, I think. Where you,
why would he do that?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that you can like, because they keep having those moments where like even in the last season of Clone Wars, even once he's transformed into Vader, you still get those moments of, wow, there might actually still be a human in there.
Like he finishes slaughtering all those kids, and Grogu's the last one left, and he's like, "Oh, this one's really cute. I might actually."
I don't know.
save
Like, I
this
mean,
one."
I'm saying something. Like, I think that would be like one of those moments where you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
like he wasn't a complete son of a bitch. Like he realized that maybe I don't know. Like,
I mean, the way that the writers and everyone on the creative team have just set this up to have so many separate things and all endings would be super dope for every Star Wars fan ever. Like we were talking about before we started, crazy theories about like Mace Windu and Luke Skywalker and stuff like that, or Kyle Katarn. Am I saying that right? Yep. Kyle Katarn showing up, who's like from the extended universe. Like the many possibilities that they could go with this are very interesting, and I think the way like it's just a really well done piece of art. I gotta say, just as a whole.
So I mean, Mandalorian. Check out Mandalorian.
Indeed,
right
if
now.
you can.
Another freaking crazy thing. Comic book news. Comic book things. Anyone who hasn't read Daredevil, probably one of the biggest Daredevil things that's happened in quite some time. So just a brief not to
Dude, just spoil it because it's all over the internet.
Devon, I haven't been reading Daredevil, and as the audience's lens into this world, explain to me what's going on in Daredevil.
The rough recap is the fact that the beginning of this run, Matt comes back as Daredevil, and he's not 100%. He shouldn't be Daredevil right now. Screws up, basically kills a guy, and goes on trial, winds up in prison.
And now Elektra's Daredevil. Spoiler!
Oh, just chimed in, ripped that Band-Aid right off.
And yes, now Elektra, one of the most prominent Daredevil characters of all time, is now Daredevil.
Well,
wow,
what
that
I-
actually sounds like it'd be really cool.
Well,
It
what I
is.
like about
Her
it
costume
is
is dope.
her costume's amazing. What I love about it is the fact that
Looks like Daredevils. I've seen it.
She's taken up the mantle to prove to Matt that she's not heartless, and that she's not this just killing machine. I mean, she needs him to do something. So
Well, that's the other thing too. You also get the little bit of snippet about like she's doing something, and like there's a bigger thing going on with the hand and with her, and I feel like for at least for a little while, like most of what we're gonna see of Matt is gonna be just scenes of him in prison, and then like the rest of it's gonna be this whole story with Elektra and like what's going on with the hand, and I was like. And apparently Stick's alive. I
got confused
I don't
about
remember
that.
when Stick came back.
His blind mentor?
yeah,
Is back again. Like I was pretty sure he was dead.
I was too. But
He's
no,
been dead twice before as well.
Yeah.
so who
Probably
cares?
it's Stick. Well,
It's also comic books.
and I mean
well,
the fact that he got Elektra to work with him. I mean that's impressive to begin with.
I mean they've worked together before, and they always the bond that Stick and Elektra have is the fact that they're both willing to do whatever they have to do to get rid of the hand. Whereas Matt's always kind of been like, I don't know, like we can work it out. I don't think you can. Not with those guys. That's the other thing too. Like I've always been like through the Daredevil stuff and even like with Wolverine and everything and all the characters that have dealt with the hand. How is there not a book about a team of just a hand kill group? Like, no, we're done with this. We're just gonna go fight the hand and just do an entire series off of that. Daredevil, Elektra, Stick, Wolverine. Hell, you could even have Wilson Fisk on that team. You know he's gonna screw him over in the end, but you have to have Wilson on there because the hands dicked him over just as much.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
he's a powerhouse.
There you go, Marvel. You could take that one. You don't even have to give us royalties. Just
fuck
just
you
go with
don't.
it.
Put Ghost Rider in it too.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just to give him something to do.
Yeah,
Which
no.
one? Which one?
The only Ghost Rider that matters.
There's only two.
The two that matter.
Yeah, I thought you guys liked
I
Danny,
feel like
too.
he needs a little like
That's why I said
revenge
two.
after that
You-
whole
you-
Shadowland thing.
You don't want to put in
I
Dude,
guess Johnny's not currently.
I can't
Ghost
think of his
Rider
name.
anymore,
he's the
technically.
king of hell, man.
Yeah, he's the king of hell. So
I'm
he's not
fine.
really Ghost
I'm
Rider.
fine with him being the king of hell. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. That seems like where Johnny's like course was always going to take him, where he's like, you know what? I'm tired of being the guy getting dicked over. I'm going to be the guy doing the dicking over.
See,
Fair enough.
I was hoping that it was just going to be Wolverine in the Daredevil suit.
I mean,
Some weird twist like Ronin?
No, it's just fun to have Elektra,
oh,
you know.
Echo. That's right. Echo could be on the hand.
Not Echo again.
I love Echo. That character's fun.
What's her deal? She's deaf, but she can still
She's
hear.
Taskmaster, but she's female and deaf. So she has the same type of ability he has. She can remember everybody's moves and duplicate them.
She's essentially Cassandra Cain.
Okay,
She's
got it.
Taskmaster, but she's deaf.
You can make the same argument about Cassandra Cain. She's Taskmaster, but she's mute.
But she doesn't have any powers, according to their world, their universe.
Well, no, because didn't they settle the fact that she's meta? I thought she's a meta-human.
I don't believe so.
I thought she was.
On a more positive note,
I
though,
don't know.
Daredevil 25 is going into multiple printings. So
Yeah,
we
if you
will.
missed it, we sold out. that's
We
for sure.
sold out,
A second printing with variants.
It's
Yeah.
one of those. It's one of those things too.
and Elektra's on the variant, so that's
Yeah.
why I
Well,
totally want one.
It's one of those things too where I'm sitting there like, and we price the ratio variants and we put them out and everything, and generally like a 1 in 25 variant goes for it's like, yeah they're kind of a little bit more expensive. They're about $20 to $30 depending and I'm going through I'm pricing variants and I'm like. Why is every cover of Daredevil going for ridiculous money? And then I sat down and read the issue. I was like, oh,
Well,
that's
It's
why.
like today when we found out that all the Marvel snapshots, the Maria Hill one there, all
Yeah.
going for $20 a pop.
Yeah.
I mean, we still got them in cover because
Yeah.
we're not going to do that to our customers, but at the same time, it's the introduction of another new
We
character. that
never
people
do
think
it
is gonna be a
week
big
one.
thing.
No.
We don't do it.
Yeah.
However, but like, I mean, I remember you telling me do not flip through Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm an issue behind. We have 15 minutes till we open. Get caught up.
Well, I'm sitting there and he's like, oh, I'm an issue behind. I was like, so what was the last thing you remember happening? I was like, what was the last thing you read? He's like, oh, he's on trial. I just looked at him. I was like, yeah, he's in prison. Read issue 25. That's all you need to know from the last issue is he's in prison. He's like, no, I gotta read it. I was like, all right, fine.
Which issue 24 was quite delightful too.
Oh, it's good. It's just it's also one of those things where they always find because that was Fisk, right? Fisk has the person like whisper all the stuff to Matt during the trial.
The person is Mary.
Yeah, but
Typhoid Mary,
But it's-
as Fisk is showering, she kills his bodyguard. And she's like, you needed a bodyguard for the trial. I got you.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that Fisk is the person who's telling Matt all the stuff is Typhoid.
Yeah, I took it as Typhoid's words, not Fisk's words.
So, but yeah, no, Daredevil is now ramping up. So here's the thing: anyone who's out there, we're gonna have copies of issue 25 when the second prints get dropped. So
let us know.
We're gonna order enough so that people can come in and grab it and have a jumping on point.
The other thing too, with that as well, and I always butcher his name. Who did the artwork for that? Macento? I always pronounce it wrong.
For what?
Daredevil 25.
Oh, I don't even know.
Mark Tichetto.
Mark Tichetto. That man's artwork, I swear, I think he's my favorite artist for Marvel right now.
Oh, his Daredevil.
just
His Daredevil's
so-
beautiful. And
His
he's
shit
he's
is so
he's
pretty.
done all 25 issues, right? He hasn't taken. a break?
He's taken hiatuses
Oh,
here
has
and
he?
there.
Okay. But that
It's
was
so good.
that was great. That was awesome.
Oh.
I enjoyed it.
By far, I think the best thing I read this week.
Yeah, it's
And that's, on the verge of... my hard second is Batman and Catwoman.
Batman, Catwoman, another one.
Just
Again,
so much fun.
Super spoilers, super spoilers for this podcast. I was actually really blown away by it, and I love Tom King's run on Batman to begin with. It got a little weird there in the middle, but the Batman Catwoman, which is basically the wrap up to his Batman story, and I don't care what DC says, this is canon.
Yeah.
This is in continuity. I don't care what they say.
Tom King has already stated that Andrea Beaumont will be returning in Mainstay Universe.
That's fine.
This is not it for her.
But no, one of the things that just I love about it was you just get all these moments in it that are just, it was so great. Just the relationship between Bruce and Selena. And I love all the stuff that they're doing with the Joker and Andrea Beaumont, who, again, if you don't know who Andrea Beaumont is,
you have no business being a Batman fan.
That's fair. That's a
Because
fair
Mask
thing.
of the Phantasm is my best Batman movie.
Of course it is.
It's probably the best Batman movie. Hands down.
For me, it is the best Batman movie, followed up by Batman Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, okay, yeah. For some
What?
reason, like you said, Batman Returns, and for some reason my brain clicked to Batman Forever. I was like,
No.
So
Really?
did mine.
yeah.
I don't know how
That's-
that
I don't,
happened.
like, it took me a second. I'm staring at you like,
I was like,
real-
the Joel
Oh
Schumacher
no,
movie?
you mean
Because
Batman?
both of you guys
I
want
did say
Batman
Batman Returns, right? Like, I'm not having a stroke.
No, you
on-
said Batman
You did.
Returns.
on
But for some
recording.
reason, like in my head, I'm like, that movie, that's the one with Two-Face. I was like, oh no, that's the Michelle Pfeiffer one with Catwoman. Okay, no, that makes
The
sense.
Michelle Pfeiffer
That
one,
never
starring
was.
Catwoman.
That movie really was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh,
Like,
that movie was all Michelle Pfeiffer.
that movie should have been called
Catwoman.
Catwoman, guest starring Batman.
Yeah. She acts circle.
And I gotta tell you, man, it's just so weird that like that version of Penguin has never really bled into anything else.
Nope.
Danny DeVito's Penguin is probably the most uncomfortable superhero movie scene of all time.
On a rando for you and Kyle, did you know who Michelle Pfeiffer is actually married to?
Not
Yes.
Danny DeVito.
You know?
Yeah, I saw it recently.
She could only be so lucky.
David
David
E.
E.
Kelly,
Yeah.
the guy that's doing Big Sky. That's her husband.
Which, by the way, if you haven't given a chance to, check it out.
I'm-
It's actually only 3 episodes into it. It's a little soapy,
Which
but
is
at
why
the
I
same
love it.
time, it's David E. Kelly, and if you've ever watched Boston Legal or The Practice or any of the rest
Ally
of the shows,
McBeal.
Ally McBeal, he does tend to be a little soapy occasionally.
He's
but
fun.
it's also a real fun psychological drama at the same time.
I enjoy it. Kyle got me into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Andrea Beaumont, big plans, super excited. Tom King has already stated he is not done with her.
I would also say that anyone who wants to read Batman Catwoman, if anything, you have to track down the Batman annuals from his run,
Oh,
Because-
and you need to track down Catwoman 80th.
Oh, right.
Because
that's the whole thing where she's
at the end of 80th, she states that she's going to visit an old friend.
Okay, yeah.
So he wrote it all as one story.
I wonder if when they collect it, they're just going to collect the entire.
I was
like,
thinking that.
I hope they do, like with all the extra stories.
That's the only way to do it. Because I had to go back into 80th and be like, wait a minute.
I thought the 80th one was the one where she's pregnant.
She's pregnant, but it ends with you meeting.
In the future, it ends like further. Like okay.
Yeah, so it goes into Selena being pregnant, the 9 months of her being pregnant, the aftermath of her playing mom, and then it's her and Helena meeting after Bruce is dead.
Oh.
No, I thought
That was the 80th.
Okay, because no.
You're thinking the Batman one is where he dies.
Yeah, but that's where her and Helena
You
meet
okay
because
with
she
that?
meets Helena on the
Okay,
rooftop.
he's coming up.
And she's like, and she tells her, she's like, oh, you know.
That's
You're-
another time.
Okay, so she meets Helena again in the 80th. All right.
Then the 80th, it ends with her hugging her daughter, and like expressing her love for her, and she's like, "Mom, do you really think, do you really need to go?" It's something like that. And she goes, "Yes, I have to visit an old friend," and that's where it leaves, which leads right into Bat and Cat.
It's always one of those things where like I look at a lot of that and I'm just the stuff that they've done with the Batman Catwoman relationship. I mean, and it's always one of those things where you always have these the characters that do get into the long-term relationships, and you know that there's ones that they're always going to come back around. I mean, Reed Richards and Sue Storm, Bruce and Selena. And like you could easily Peter and Mary Jane. Like there's ones that are
Johnny and Roxanne.
Sue and Victor.
Sue and Namor,
Sue and Namor.
Reed and Grimm,
Sue and Thing.
Sue and Johnny. Wait,
No. No, she actually
That's
did
her-
That's
everything.
the ultimate
Brother.
universe.
Yeah, that's only in that one really bad movie where they're not
Yeah.
related. Ugh.
they have a weird type of relationship.
In the Fan Four Stick?
Yeah, in that movie, like there's a lot of
Oh.
like not inappropriate touching. Like it's
No,
it's
I just stop.
Okay.
I know. We don't talk about that.
I mean, next we're going into the Ultimates version of Wanda and
Pietro?
Quicksilver.
Or
Yeah, I mean,
Peter?
good lord.
That was a Mark Millar thing. Mark Millar's
That's
a
Mark
Millar, left to his own devices, is a sick fuck.
Reed wanted.
You see, and
Not
that's
only wanted, read his Vampirella.
Reed wanted.
but here's the thing. You see, I would have agreed with you if that's all he wrote.
You would love his Vampirella.
The Starlight book he does though.
Yeah.
On a different note.
That book's freaking brilliant.
Is that? I meant to always. I keep meaning to ask. that.
Starlight basically was him doing it was an ode to Flash Gordon.
Oh, so it's not like the boys Starlight.
No.
Because that's what I always thought it was.
He couldn't call it Flash Gordon because, the people who own the rights to Flash Gordon didn't want the story done for Dynamite, so he just wrote it as a different character for
Who owns
Image.
the rights to.
Mark Millar, I'm surprised it wasn't called Flesh Gordon.
But no, it was a story of Flash Gordon getting home, and no one believing that he went on this crazy adventure and saved this planet.
Who owns the
So
rights?
it's like
to,
Adam Strange.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Who owns the rights to? Is it?
I have no idea.
Because I know Dynamite did do a
is
comic.
Flash Gordon Edgar Rice Burroughs?
No idea.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't know. I don't know who does. Whoever the estate of the writer of Flash Gordon.
But yeah, no, Bat and Cat. I totally love it. It's brilliant. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Bat,
Yeah.
cat.
It's probably actually owned by the same people that own Mandrake the Magician and the Phantom now. Because at one point in time, all those properties were owned by the same company.
Oh.
That's what we need. Another fan.
They're like-
book.
Yeah, he's
Well, at one point in time, there was a cartoon called The Defenders of the Earth. And Defenders of the Earth, you can go and Google this. It's an old cartoon show. It featured the Phantom, the ghost who walks. It featured Flash Gordon, and it featured Mandrake the Magician, the original, not the young
Not the
female
girl
that
that
we
they
have
got.
currently. Yes.
What if we
I have a
escort
stupid
you
question for you, just
that
because
way?
in that world, was the shadow also part of it too? Or
think
is that just
so.
something that I'm making up in my
No,
head?
I think so. I think they were all owned by the same company at one point in time, but I don't know if the Shadows are still owned by the
I
same
think
company.
they're-
Now Dynamite owns the Shadow.
No, they license
Did
it.
they license it?
They-
Yeah, I was going to say, owning and licensing aren't necessarily the same
Because the
thing.
Shadow, I think, he's part of that golden age, like swashbuckler kind of like. It's usually him.
The Shadow? He's a crime noir character.
Yeah.
I'm
But
thinking of the
but
guy
he also-
with the pistols, the hat, and the red
Yes,
scarf.
but
Big long
he
nose.
also
Yeah.
he falls in with whoever also owns the rights to Zorro and
It's
things like that.
Lamont something or other. Lamont Cranston? Is
Okay,
that
I'm just happy I
Yeah.
wasn't like losing my mind there, because I used to like the Shadow too.
Shadow was always cool.
Just not that movie with Alec Baldwin. Blah.
As a kid, I liked that movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
I
to
still
you.
like that movie.
I've never seen it as
Which
an
movie?
You
adult.
people are insane.
The
You next
Shadow.
you're gonna tell me you don't like
I've
the
never
Shadow
seen it as an
movie
adult.
Neither am I.
or
I've
the
not seen it.
I'm sorry, the Phantom movie.
Which
I
one?
just said I don't like the... No, the Phantom, there's only one.
No,
There's
there's
two.
two.
Oh, God, they made a second one
Yeah.
of that?
The one
the first
has
one was fun, but
Oh, why can't I think of his name?
it's Billy Zane.
Thank you, Billy Zane. I love.
Yeah, no,
Billy
this,
Zane.
the second one is it takes place in like
You got
current
cavity.
times.
Yeah,
Oh,
shit,
interesting.
kid.
But yeah, no, the Batman Catwoman stuff I'm super excited for. Like that first issue was really good, and the sad thing is that this book is going to be a book that is either absolutely amazing
Or terrible.
or terrible at the end. It's going to be one or the other.
If it makes me, first of all, I have faith in Tom King. If it makes me, I'm trying to think how to work. Oh God, if it makes me not be able to watch Batman: Mask of the Phantasm after this, I'm gonna have to hurt Tom King, and I don't want to do that because I do love him, and he's let me sit on his table before.
Okay, well, there you go. Everyone heard it here. If anything ever happens to Tom King, you know where to go.
Yep.
So check this out. 2011, Dynamite Entertainment began a new series called Flash Gordon Zeitgeist, I believe. I'm not great with German.
It's either Zeitgeist or Zeitgeist.
Yeah, Zeitgeist, whichever. The series is written by Eric Troutman, Vampirella, Red Sonja. Story, Alex Ross, Kingdom Come, yeah, da-da-da-da. And then they talk about, very specifically, following a crossover miniseries called King's Watch, which was very much like Defenders of the Earth. Flash Gordon teamed up with Mandrake and the Phantom, albeit in the 21st century.
Yeah, because I think it's all actually under. I think it's King's Comics is what they're all under.
It looks like at least in 2011, Dynamite had
would like the
some
Shadow,
control over it.
They just whenever they pay for the license.
Yeah,
Because I know,
don't
like right now, Mandrake the
The covers
Magician,
are pretty cool.
they're publishing that under another company.
That is something because it's the legacy of
Yeah, it's Mandrake the Magician's
yeah.
daughter.
Written by Erica Hendrick for Jeremy.
Oh, the Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Hey, not for nothing, but Squirrel Girl was the best Marvel published title for like 3 years.
Stonebot Comics.
The best.
Don't know if that's true.
What, Squirrel Girl?
I mean,
Totally true.
are you talking like?
It's very subjective. Trying to say that something's the best Marvel comic is very subjective.
Unless it's Squirrel Girl.
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, if you're saying sales, probably you're right. Like because that,
Miss Marvel outsold her.
Well,
I think they sold on par.
Okay.
I have a question. Did it sell more in trade or singles? Because that's the thing. Didn't Ms. Marvel sell better in trade than it did singles?
They both did.
Oh, okay.
But the thing was that they put the singles out because they needed wanted to
that-
put out the trades.
Is that picking him up as he screams across the room at us?
As he's yelling across the room, as it.
Oh yeah. It'll be faint, but it's there for the listeners. They can hear it.
I also want to point out that my dog is here causing chaos.
Yes. If you were wondering what all that giddy giggling I was doing in the background of that Batman Catwoman conversation, it was because a dog was in my lap. What's your dog's name, Jeremy?
T.
T.
He's always there.
Short for
T.
Princess Lady Tomahawk.
To give the that's adorable.
No.
To give the the readers a little bit more of a visual image, what breed of dog is your dog?
She's a Jack Russell.
Jack Russell, little girl.
She's kind of adorable.
She's been jumping up on our laps, and
She is a
I'm
mischief maker,
covered
yeah.
in fur.
Oh, dude, my
And I'm
black
so okay
pants
with it.
are just
So before I forget, we didn't mention it previously, but comment down below as to what Jedi Knight you think is going to pick up Grogu in The Mandalorian. We all have our own bets, and we'd love to see what you guys think about it.
Our hopes and
Yes, our
dreams.
hopes, dreams. Weird ideas about Mace Windu and stuff.
I think it's gonna be Ezra.
I think I know it's very unlikely that it would be Mace, but I would hope it'd be Mace just because of the story possibilities.
Well, also because you want to see the first Jedi on screen with a wallet that says "bad motherfucker."
Hell yeah. And you fit him up with some cybernetic stuff, you could make him look fucking dope.
General Grievous.
Was this on my list?
Yeah. It's all
Bad
that,
mother.
I want it.
Fucker.
Uh,
Just Mace Windu, but he's coughing up a
So-
storm.
So this isn't necessarily comic related, but it was something that came across the news feed that I just thought was hysterical, and Steve being here is probably the best person to give us an opinion on this, because it is one of his favorite movies of all time. Well, I don't know if of all time, but it's one of his favorite movies. Apparently, there is now talks that there is going to be a Godfather 4.
No.
What about Plastic Man, Steve? What do you think about that announcement?
I'd sooner go see that.
Is there supposed to be a Plastic Man movie in development?
Yes.
A plastic something movie.
Yes.
They
going-
said they're going to be doing a gender bent Plastic Man movie.
Okay.
I mean, at that point, if you're calling it a gender bent Plastic Man movie, why not just say, hey, we're
It
doing
would
a
just-
Plastic Woman movie?
Yeah, it'd just be Plastic Woman. That's it.
Or Plastic Person movie at this point,
Well,
I guess.
It's even like I love
Oh,
all
the theme song could be Barbie Girl from Aqua.
Yes.
Oh, the punk version.
Dude,
That'll
no,
work.
in all honesty, though, just with
Yeah.
DC for a quick moment, you have the Wonder Girl show coming out, and then they just announced Naomi
Yeah.
today.
because we needed that.
So it's just like one of these things where I'm like, the Wonder Girl, I'll give to you because I'm just excited that Joelle Jones is having a property get some attention. I don't know if it's good yet. Like, we'll find out in future state. But, and I love
which
Joelle.
Wonder Girl is it going to be?
It's going
It's
to
a
be the one from the
new
Amazon.
Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
It's the Future State
It's the
Wonder
future
Girl.
state. But
Well, Future State Wonder
here's
Woman,
the
I
thing.
guess.
I love Joelle Jones, and I want her to do well, so I'm going to support it with doubts.
We shall see.
That's where I'm at. But like a Naomi TV show, I don't know if I need
You know that, and that's the thing, and I feel like that right there is like just that's the burden of like all like pop culture fans for the most part, like everything. It's like, man, I really don't like this idea, but if I don't support it, like there's not gonna be other things.
Well, I mean, look at Legion too. Legion's one of those things where you have those people. Like, what was one of our regulars telling us that they were saying?
For
Legion, the hero thing.
Legion of Superheroes?
Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, Legion of
Okay.
Superheroes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You have to add the rest of it in there.
Yeah,
or-
Sorry,
I was
we're
thought you
thinking about the Marvel property.
No,
of
I'm
Legion.
very
Yeah,
sorry. I'm
which also
tired.
became a TV show.
Right, which was a fun TV show.
It was a very fun TV show.
It's over?
Dude,
Oh,
it was only
kooky
3
as crap.
seasons.
Yeah, it was.
Audrey Plaza, though, as a villain is just so much fun.
Yeah, well, you love her. She's like your spirit animal.
I do love her.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, but back to
For
what you're
totally different reasons.
Yeah.
Aubrey
But-
Plaza from Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Ah.
She plays the Shadow King, essentially. Kind of.
Oh. Neat.
The show's been out for been over for like 3 years.
There's no
Right.
spoilers anymore.
I know.
There's a-
I guess that's on me. I still haven't gotten around to watching it, but
Sorry about it.
so
It
the
doesn't ruin anything.
No.
so you said the same thing about this thing you told me about Witcher before I started watching it.
What did I tell you about Witcher?
I'm not.
Did you you could just say it'll cut it out.
No, the thing about the
time.
about the time jump.
Oh, timey-wimey.
Anyway, no, but what you were saying about Legion of Superheroes, yeah, Legion of Superhero fans, they get hurt so
Yeah.
much by DC because Legion of Superheroes was like a staple for a long time of like a book that, it was a cool idea. It's the kids in the future want to uphold the ideals of Superman and and help the world, and not only help their world but help change things in the past that have gone wrong.
Because that's always a good point.
We did get the Legion of Superheroes in Supergirl.
And Smallville, right? Did they do like 1 or 2 in Smallville? Am I
don't-
making that up?
I don't know
Might
if they.
be.
I don't think they did it in Smallville.
There was an animated series where
Dude, that animated series was fun.
I saw only a
wasn't that
few
like one of
episodes
the-
in my childhood.
Wasn't
but-
that like the same animation as that Extreme Looney Tunes show?
No.
Do you remember that, Kyle? What
I
were they
do.
called?
Yeah.
It was
had
weird.
Oh,
It
anyway.
had the same animation as several
Dude,
cartoons of the era.
if you're not showing a cross-dressing Bugs Bunny or someone getting blown up and not dying, you're not doing Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
No,
I was
but-
going to say, what's wrong with the
Nothing, but
cross-dressing
they
Bugs
won't
Bunny?
do it anymore. They won't do that. They won't show the violence.
I mean,
Like,
it's a staple of Bugs Bunny.
but that's what
I
I'm
mean,
getting
Daffy Duck
at.
getting shot in the face by, Elmer
yeah,
is a staple.
but they won't show that shit anymore.
You know what my favorite episode of Looney Tunes ever, and I know I'm off on a tangent here, but my favorite episode ever is when he's trying to one-up Bugs.
Yes,
and he
on stage.
And he does that
Oh,
on stage
so
thing, and
good.
he blows himself all to hell. And the guy's like, "Oh, it's great. Can you do it again on Saturday?" He goes, "One-time trick," as he's floating off. It's
Yeah,
great.
he's like, I can only do the trick once.
Yeah.
But no, the
Fantastic episode.
But yeah, but like Legion of Superhero fans, like I have so many people in there, like I don't like what they're doing with Legion, but if I don't support the Legion book, there's not gonna be another Legion book, and I'm like, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's a rough thing. Like that's.
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean-
Everybody has that one thing that even if it's
Yeah.
bad, they support it because they want to see more of it in the future.
And that's the thing. I mean, and unfortunately, there's so many things now that they bring back and they redo, and they take such a departure from the character, and
The original licensed property versus what people adapted to.
yeah, I mean, even like with Legion, like Bendis taking over Legion and doing what he did to Legion, I'm like, this isn't like even I don't even like Legion of Superheroes, and I look at it and I go, this isn't Legion of Superheroes.
This doesn't feel right.
I was like, and then they turn around and they redid it, and now Jonathan Kent is
The Superman.
is their Superman. I'm like, no. Clark Kent was the Superboy and the Superman that they idolized. Like, stop.
But what's in your hand right there, Devon?
Oh, well, these are some of the books that I was checking out that I'm going to recommend that I will we'll get to after the rest of the news.
Do we have any more
Was that a
news?
head signal to me to say the news?
Yeah, sure.
The next news? Oh, well, fans of, or people who are excited for the upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series. As we know, Marvel's Hawkeye got into production recently, started getting going, and we've gotten some set photos of Haley Steinfeld, I'm saying that right,
I think so.
as
I believe
as
so.
Kate Bishop, as well as Jeremy Renner in just like civilian clothes, but returning as Hawkeye. But we've also got, pretty much, as far as I'm aware, the rest of the cast also revealed to us. Alongside series leads Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, we've got Vera Midja. I'm very bad with names.
I've been calling
Do we
her
want to go
Fleming.
down the list?
Vera Farmiga.
Okay. And
Oh,
then
Fleming.
the
There's
actress.
no L
Doesn't
or
matter.
E.
It's all silent.
I'm
Or
gonna
Ing.
I'm gonna screw up this name, so I'm just gonna say the actress who is portraying Black Widow's younger sister.
Yelena. the
Yelena,
actor- or I don't know what her name
will
is.
be in the show as well.
Interesting.
Fra Faye, Tony Dalton, Alakwa Cox, and Zahn McClarnon.
A lot.
I might be screwing up these names really hard. What'd you say the name was? Farmiga?
Yeah, I'm going with Farmiga.
Alrighty. Will be Kate Bishop's mother. Faye will be the character's name is Kazi, which is most likely short for Kazimierzak, known to
Beautiful.
fans of Marvel as the mercenary villain Clown.
Kyle's gonna have a coronary.
How do you say the name, Kyle?
I got nothing, man.
Oh, you don't even know? That's
No.
just a...
I'm not doing anything over here.
Tony Dalton will be portraying Swordsman. Swordsman will be in the show.
Dude, I like Swordsman.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to run that all as like flashbacks as to
Yeah.
how Hawkeye got his,
It's gonna be the circus
the
stuff.
circus
Yeah,
stuff.
apparently there's going to be some stuff.
That's actually
That could be fun. The
That
circus
actually that they're
crime.
actually putting the circus stuff. Oh, is his brother in it?
Hawkeye's brother?
Yeah.
It doesn't say so far. Newcomer Cox will play Maya Lopez, the true name of the Marvel character Echo, a deaf Native American, as we've said
That's
beforehand.
right.
You know what?
I was wondering
No.
why when you said Echo, I heard her.
No, that character belongs in Daredevil. That's where that character should debut. That's where she debuted in the comics. Unacceptable.
Well, Daredevil's over, so I think that's
I was
that's
Unacceptable.
why
going
we're
to say
doing this.
Typhoid Mary didn't debut at Iron Fist, and that was a really easy glide in.
And finally,
Yeah, but
McLarnon.
there's a whole thing with the street level heroes like the ones that become the Defenders in the TV show, where there's so much crossover between their villains. Typhoid
Yeah.
Mary appeared in almost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, she was a Spider-Man villain a couple of times,
yeah.
despite the fact that she's not capable of fighting Spider-Man. Not the original character. I mean, the character from the show, sure, yeah, she'd kick his ass.
Oh, yeah.
But the character from the comics couldn't have fought Spider-Man. She was just multiple personality girl
Well, no,
with
she
knives.
Also, she also had some pyrokinetic.
Not originally.
No, she did.
No.
I just read it.
No.
Dude,
One
she-
of the personalities.
She lights the guy on fire.
I think one of the personalities does, but you don't see that for like the first 5 or 6 issues that you're
Oh,
dealing
okay.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, because that was like they talk about that in the show too, because, and that was the thing. That was one of the other reasons I got so upset that they canceled all that, because
Yeah.
they tell you, she's like, "Oh no, you don't understand. I'm not the one doing this, and you're not the one doing this. There's another one of us."
Well, what I really loved, I don't know what that actress's name is,
yeah.
but I don't know we're going off on a
Oh,
tangent.
she was the girl from Star
Alice
Trek.
Eve. It's Alice Eve.
Yeah,
What
But
was she in?
Star Trek not Rathacon, the Into Darkness.
Into Darkness? Okay.
But she turned around and a lot of the nighttime shows, like the interviewers kept asking, you're a comic book character, are you going to look like the character by the end of the season? And she, every time she was like, dude, I hope so. She's like, that is a badass design. And I just loved her enthusiasm with it. I loved how enthusiastic she was about
but-
doing the split makeup, the frizzy hair, the knives, the fishnet.
Before we get into it, just the last one, McLarnon, is going to play William Lopez, also known as Crazy Horse Lincoln from the Marvel Comics.
Oh, I'm guessing that's gonna.
So it's okay
That's,
for them to use
Echo's-
Crazy Horse.
Echo's
guess.
mother.
So no, it's okay for them to use Crazy Horse, but they had to make this big deal about changing Scalp Hunter's name. Are
Okay,
you freaking serious?
come on, though. Scalp Hunter and Crazy Horse? Are you
If-
really
if
trying
If you
to...
look historically, Scalp Hunter was a title given to certain people within certain tribes, like the Apache at one point in time. It was a title given to people
It was, but I wouldn't...
by their own
That
tribe.
wouldn't play well.
So therefore, it's the same damn thing.
It is.
I think Crazy Horse plays a lot better publicly than old Scalp Hunter.
And then they go and they give him a freaking jacked up name to begin with.
Grey Crow.
Yeah, John Greycrow. Afterward.
But yeah, no. Willie Crazy Horse Lincoln, who is Echo's father. But yeah, that is the Hawkeye cast
I'm excited for it.
at this point. But yeah, no, a lot of Marvel characters, a lot of deep cut Marvel characters in this one.
I'm excited to see the Kate Bishop character. I think that's gonna be a fun character to see live action.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with all this stuff based off the death of cinema at this point in time.
Yeah.
Well, considering that that was the other thing too, was that Warner Brothers announced that their entire movie slate's gonna be all streaming.
man.
So they said that. And is it like going to be with like Mulan where you have to pay $30?
No. Right now, HBO Max said when they debut the movies, the first 30 days you don't have to pay for it.
Wow.
After the first 30 days, until they release it on.
It's a better deal than Disney's giving you.
Yeah.
Well, Disney said that the other new Pixar movie they're releasing. They're releasing that at no cost when it comes out.
That's
so.
good. They learned their lesson from Mulan.
Where no one
Yeah.
cared.
Give me a pay service that I have to pay for each and every month, and then charge me $30 to
Well,
watch a movie.
surprisingly enough, though, it actually did well money wise.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and they were actually
There's nothing else to watch. People
Yeah.
are bored.
so. But I think that's going to be a big thing. And right now, the movie theater chains like AMC and Regal, they're trying to make some type of. They want some type of commission essentially from this. I'm using the wrong word. I think. A reparation. They want some type of reparation from Warner Brothers off the HBO Max subscriptions, saying that for every view you get, we should get a cut of your subscription because you're making it so we can't make money. I was like,
I get it, but in the same sense, like not that, but there needs to be some sort of wiggle. But at this point, movie theaters are dying.
but here's the thing: I don't think there has to be. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I remember, and here you go. I mean, I remember going to the movies with my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. All 5 of us would go. We'd get drinks. We'd get popcorn. We'd get the movie tickets. It would cost $30. If you did that now, it costs you close to $150.
Well, it's partially the movie theater markup. It's partially the companies that make movies making more expensive movies.
I get that, but then
I
then the tickets should be based on the movie.
Well, if you look at where you're getting steamrolled at the movie theater, you're not getting steamrolled on the tickets.
No, you're getting food.
killed at the concession.
Yeah, but
Which is why my mother always emptied her purse. We went to the drugstore, picked up soda and candy. The only thing we bought was popcorn.
yeah, but the other thing too is like again, but you are getting slammed on the tickets now because even when I got the tickets have jumped so much. Even since I've been working and being able to go to the movies on my own, like
That's true.
I remember being able to go get a movie ticket for $8.
I remember being able to get my snacks and my movie ticket for $20.
I remember buying comic books at 75 cents. What the hell's your point?
If you can,
Inflation occurs.
Yes, I
It's a
understand.
thing, man.
If you go to movie theaters on specific days,
you can get
Tuesdays
tickets.
normally you get them
I-
at like $7 here and in Newburgh.
Again, like the other thing is though, I think that part of it is that the movie tickets should also be based off of the movie. Like, okay, yeah, you have a big budget movie, sure, the tickets are going to cost more. If you got a low budget movie like John Wick, no, I don't think the tickets should cost $15. They should cost like $9. Like it's a lower
it's
budget.
Not how it works, though.
No.
I think coming out of this, to slightly move away from that argument, as I understand the desire from the movie theaters in order to stay afloat to ask for the commission. It's completely illogical.
I get
It's
where
logical
I get
for
where they're
them
coming
business-wise to ask for it. It's they have no actual power to uphold that against Warner Brothers.
They're-
But I understand. Like they at least have the film. Like it's not like it's getting solely to HBO Max. It's still going to have the theater release. So those
No,
who
it's
aren't.
not.
No, they're doing.
No,
they're
they
doing
are.
same
Yeah.
day. They're
Yeah,
still
same
doing
day
the theater
releases.
release.
However,
It's weird how they're doing it.
Okay, I
No.
was going to say the original article I read said that they were doing no theater releases.
I know
However-
Wonder Woman
Oh, okay.
is.
we need to also point into, like, I'm not going to sit there and disagree with their idea for this. Like, I disagree with the stupidity of it. Should something be done to save that industry? Absolutely. However, it's not like AMC and Regal were doing that well off before COVID anyway.
Well, here's the thing though, and you want the movie theater industry to survive, fine. Make it an experience again.
Drive-in theaters. I mean,
Oh my
like,
God.
What
There's
Should've just
movies,
done that.
There's movies that I own that I went to go to the drive-in to see just because I want to see them on the big screen.
And they were so much fun.
And they were so much fun. And then, because it's an experience. But that's the thing. Theaters aren't even like you go to a theater and it's really not even like my father would tell me about the theaters he went to as a kid with the curtains and like the velvet seats and like ushers like and I'm like that would be awesome. Like the fact that they don't even take the care like
No.
What
What is the point of a movie theater usher besides to walk in 20 minutes into a movie, stare at it, and leave? They're not checking anything.
No, but that's the thing. Like,
You want movies with velvet ropes? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
but no, I think that, like, that's the thing. Like the theaters themselves aren't even an experience anymore.
No.
No,
And
I think just to cut costs is kind of why, so that you could do that. I think generally, I mean, at least what they've got is they do have that, and from what I understand, I know Wonder Woman for a fact is doing this, and I'm pretty sure every other film following it will have same-day release with theaters and streaming services. At least they have it so that people who are comfortable going to movie theaters at the moment will go and support the business. So if that's something you, the viewer of this podcast, are comfortable doing, then you're more than willing to still do it with these films. But yeah, there's just not much else you can do.
I'm actually, like, at this point now, I urge everyone to not bother going to a movie theater ever again. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, I think that might be one of those nostalgia things that's time to die.
Well,
Let
again,
it go.
it's one of those things too.
I mean, streaming
don't-
services were going to kill it eventually.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Again,
Well, maybe we've just hastened the demise.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, again, drive-in theaters, they're fun. It's an experience, and to watch classic movies that way is great. I don't agree with, like, not every movie that gets filmed needs a theatrical release. There's movies I've gone to see because they looked cool, like they seemed cool, and I was like, man, that was a waste of going to the movie theater. Like, I don't understand why they even put that in the theater. Why didn't that just go straight to DVD or on streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the thing. Most like,
The overabundance has created
Yeah.
large piles of crap.
yeah,
Yeah.
And-
And while Netflix isn't putting out the best movies overall, story-wise, their, like, quality, given even though they have a lesser budget, I mean, the quality, the look, the feel of it is big budget stuff. Like, you don't have to go like that. What was the Jamie Foxx movie they put out recently where you get the pill? It's basically Our Man, but everybody's got a pill. It was Power something. I think it was just called
Power.
this is called Power.
Power. Yeah, that looked like a straight up just film like
That
movie
actually
that you'd see in the
actually looked
theater.
pretty cool. I didn't get around to watching it, but yeah, no, and that's the thing.
Well, even the one, like, Kyle told me to watch it, Extraction, right? That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
That, I'm actually going to say, might have been the best action movie I saw this year.
Is that the one with Ben Affleck? And
No, that's Chris Hemsworth was in this
Chris
one.
Hemsworth.
oh, what's the one with Ben Affleck and they go to steal the gold or something? Or
I didn't watch anything with Ben Affleck.
they were like a Delta group. I thought you watched that one.
It's the one with Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
They're not a Delta group, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got him and Oscar Isaacs in it.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent.
Oh yeah, you hear Oscar Isaac is gonna be Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid.
I
film.
did.
I don't know, but I heard that he isn't going to be Moon Knight because he's not Jewish.
Khonshu-ish.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke.
He got cast by Marvel as Moon Knight, and now everyone online is like, well, you can't cast him because he's not Jewish because Moon Knight's Jewish. I'm like,
See,
Wait,
and
that's for real. Like, wait, it is confirmed though that he is Moon Knight.
he was going to
he
be.
was going to be. He's not now.
Oh,
He was an
But
official.
that kinda
here's
blows.
my argument on this, right? Even if the Mark Spector character started off as being Jewish, he worships the god Khonshu. Therefore, he's no
Yeah.
longer Jewish. He's Khonshuish, as Jeremy has come up with in his own mind.
yeah,
I mean-
he literally adopts a new
right.
religion.
So,
Well, and
are
here-
you still that religion if you now worship a totally different god
And
that you've actually seen and talked to, who is real? Type
And
of
the other
thing.
thing, too,
I mean,
and-
which one is the
And the other thing too about it is, like, even in the original origin, like the original straight up origin issue of Moon Knight. And again, I didn't even know Moon Knight was a Jewish character until I
didn't until just now.
well, here's the
Neither
thing.
did I until
We didn't
I-
until earlier today. We had to look it up and went, "You got to be kidding me! I didn't
Yeah.
know that."
And here's the bit part. It talks about him growing up. His father was a Jewish rabbi, and Mark Spector had forsaken the religion, became a boxer, and then became a soldier, and then a mercenary.
And then a mercenary.
And he is not a practicing. He's not
Right.
a practicer of the faith.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like, you really, this is your argument as to why the man can't play the role?
And the other thing too is that they went on about he has the same type of Jewish heritage as Ben Grimm. No, he doesn't. Ben Grimm
Ben
actually
is a practicing.
Yes,
yeah,
he's a
practicing member of the faith.
Yeah, and I was like,
He still wears his yarmulke as a rock guy. It's cool.
yeah, and like that's a big thing, and it's
Ben
like,
Grimm's Jewish?
You didn't
Yes.
know that?
I did not.
Oh.
No.
He had a
Kitty
very
Pryde
traditional
is-
Jewish wedding when they finally got
Yeah.
married.
Kitty Pryde is Jewish as well.
Yep.
That I did know.
Well, she also used to wear the Star of David in
Yeah.
But
in the comics.
that's so
Frequently.
weird.
Yeah, I know. We heard that and we are like, wait, what?
Like, I'm just saying, like, the Oscar Isaac thing, because, like, I mean, it's not like they'd be, for all intents and purposes, whitewashing. Oscar Isaac is Guatemalan. Like, it's not, like, that's such a weird argument to make.
No, but the complaint made was that since he does not share the religious perspective of the character, he shouldn't play the character. It's just like the argument they made when they tried to say that Scarlett Johansson shouldn't have played the characters. Like, there's been 3 major arguments against her. One.
Well,
being
that
the
was
Ghost
for the
Ghost in the Shell.
Which one?
Yeah.
Well, there's 3, as I said. There's the Ghost
There-
in the Shell one. There's
the
one where she was
transgender
gonna
one.
play the transgender.
That one.
And then there was the other. I can't remember what the
I
other
don't
one
remember
was,
what
but
the
it was
other one
another
was.
one where she didn't even get the role.
Yeah.
But she was up for it, and they made a big stink about it.
well, I thought she didn't get the role for the transgender thing. I thought
She didn't get that one either.
Yeah.
No,
There
she
were 2
bowed
them.
out of that one.
But yeah, that one she dropped out of. The other one she didn't even get selected
Yeah.
for. But it doesn't matter. The point is, it's
They're
acting people.
actors.
Do I need to go find aliens the next time that I want to have an alien movie?
Well, in those particular cases, I do get those arguments in terms of the transgender as well as the ethnicity community, just because they want more actors from those communities to represent those characters, as opposed to just like, you know, your average Joe stepping into, I don't know, Black Panther's outfit. Like, just to that's an obviously absurd
hold on.
hypothetical,
Yeah,
but
hold
just
on a
something
second.
like
Wait,
that.
wait. No, we're talking again. We're getting so extreme now, though, is the problem. See, here's the thing: if you were going to tell me that they were going to cast Tom Green as Black Panther, I'd be like, "You're out of your damn mind!
I'd
Are
argue
you?
it all
You're
ways.
insane!"
Obviously.
Like
Jeremy supports this. He's clapping his hands.
But here's
You know,
the thing:
Black Panther is traditionally a muscular black man.
But here you go.
Yeah.
But
That's logical.
but
Tom
we've-
Green is neither of those things.
But we've gotten to the point now where, okay, so we're not going to cast Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight because he's not Jewish. Well, and okay, then you know what? Then you shouldn't have cast Chadwick Boseman as freaking Black Panther because he's not African.
He's not
He's,
Wakandan.
he's from Brooklyn, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I
And
am
he has
saying
no
the
African-
Oscar Isaac one is you're getting a little too specific there.
Yeah.
Looking for something like that, just
So,
that
but-
fact,
but
because
they've-
also, you know, Moon Knight doesn't practice either.
Yeah, but
Right.
but again,
They've
it's-
made the same argument though against people that are disabled in one way, shape, or another.
Yeah, I
You
don't
had that
really.
movie called My Left Foot with Daniel Day-Lewis, where
Yeah.
one of the greatest method actors of all time. I don't like Daniel Day-Lewis all that much, but man, the guy throws himself into whatever role he's playing. They wanted to make
Bill the Butcher.
Yeah, I know. Whatever role, he really goes whole haul at the darn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he spent months and months and months doing things to make himself only use his foot because the character he's playing was only able to use one foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, today they're saying things like, "Oh, well, you only should cast a paraplegic actor as a paraplegic in the movie." Huh? No.
I feel like by doing this though, you're losing. Number one, you're losing the ability for someone else to look at someone else's life, whether it be fictitious or not, and go, "Oh, number one, I didn't think of it like that," and number two, then you're kind of limiting your talent pool.
well,
Massively.
yeah.
I mean, look at Ryan Murphy's Oh, why can't I think of that stupid show that Melissa wants me to watch? I can't think of it. But he cast all transgender women. The biggest problem with the show is that they couldn't act.
Yeah.
And that's what all the reviews came back and said. This show is great. None of you can act.
Right.
Well, yeah,
but
and
to oppose that,
Pose, thank you.
Ah,
That's
nice.
actually what it was.
That
Pose.
worked out.
nice.
Thank you.
that also has a negative action to it when you do expand beyond that, because most people, you know, most big name actors don't fall into the characters when you're like in the character's community or ethnicity or whatever when you're going into those roles. So to expand the entertainment industry, in that I understand the argument of like maybe someone who falls into that category, who understands that experience because they've grown up with something similar to that, would have the ability to do so. You would hope that they would have the availability.
You're an
want that in all
actor, though. Does
directions?
that make you a better actor? That's my question. Does the experience of plucking someone off the street because they are X, Y, and Z instantly make you be able to play a part?
Well, that's the thing. You're not plucking someone off the street. This is also someone who wants to be an actor.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They're not finding actors. They're plucking people off the street.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all dependent
that's-
on the project, really, as to who they cast
well,
for this.
Yeah, but the thing is, but that's the thing, though. How many? And that's the so you sit there and you say you only want one-armed people to play one-armed people. There's a lot of one-armed. I'm sure there's a lot of one-armed people out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many of them are actors, because generally they have a lot more stuff to deal with in their lives and worry about. I got to make sure this is represented in entertainment.
Well, yeah, with something like that, I'm sure there's not many one-armed, and this is just an assumption. There's not many one-armed actors to choose from. With something, like that.
The other thing that I want to... I'm sorry, Kyle.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
The other thing I want to bounce back, okay, at this point, look at Dallas Buyers Club. Mm-hmm. Jared Leto is not a transitioning man.
I actually have a story about that when you're
Oh,
done.
great. He, from what I'm told, is very method in his approach.
Yeah.
The man won a friggin' Oscar for this role.
Yeah.
Should he have to give it back?
Wait. Hold on a second. Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah, that was Jared Leto.
Yeah. He
I
won an
thought
Oscar
Matthew
for it.
McConaughey is the one who won the Oscar for that.
He was not the main, or Jared Leto played the supporting role.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Best
Yes.
supporting male.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
won that because
Yeah,
Glenn Close is another one. She played a male butler in a movie, and she won the Oscar for it for best, which baffled me because she was playing a man. Best actress. You know, these are where
She is an actress.
she
character's a
is.
man, but
That's
she
why.
is an
That's why
actress.
that threw me a little bit.
But that's the...
But this is where, at what point, because that's going to be the next thing of, I have to give back. You've already had certain people demand giving back the Oscars or giving back the award, which I disagree with entirely.
I don't think it's necessary at all. I mean, to have someone give back their awards because of that, I think to only move forward and to not look back at the past, whatever happened, but to give you the story about Jared Leto, actually, when I was over at New Paltz, we actually had an actor who was... I want to use the correct term here, genderqueer. That's the term I'm thinking. Who actually interviewed Jared Leto at a press conference. This was a private press conference, and it was like a panel of everyone on the show, and they actually asked Jared Leto, like, what do you think about, like, transgender actors that could have actually, like, played that? Would you... why not give the role to them? And he basically stood up and was like, it sucks to suck. I won an Oscar. Like, he doesn't necessarily treat it well when that question is brought up.
But he's right.
That's
He
the
did win an
odd thing.
Oscar,
No,
but
no.
he could treat it a little better.
But he's right, though. There's no reason to give that role to someone who can't act just because they're transgender. If he can portray a better transgender person on screen than an actual transgender actor, then he deserves the role. Because that means he's doing his damn job.
Here's the thing, and I'm hearing this argument from about everyone at this table. The argument is not to cast someone because of that, because they identify in that solely.
That's actually the argument that they're making.
But
That's what
here's
we
the
just
thing.
said to you from the very beginning.
Here's the
argument that's
thing.
being
No,
made-
you're missing something. Here's the thing that I'm trying to say. The argument is to cast someone who is a part of that community that can act. Like, not just grab random Joe Schmo off the street because he's black or because they're transgender, like, because of this.
But what do you do when you don't have someone who
That's
is
what
part of
we're
that
running
community?
into.
What happens when you don't find a person who can act that's part of the community?
It depends on the situation. Like, what are you saying? Like, you're trying to cast a transgender person and no one around here's offering to be in your film?
Or they don't have the ability that I'm looking for as the director. They're not able to emote or pick and choose whatever acting term you want.
Yeah, can you not recognize the fact that there are singular talents out there? There are some people that are just far better at certain things than others.
I also think it's more marketability.
Right.
You know, A-list actor can do anything that we want them to.
Well, that's what the argument is trying to expand upon, is to get the A-list actors to to step away from stuff to have other people get the spotlight.
Yeah, but here, hold on. Let me just
walk away from it.
Hold on. Let's put it this way. Let's try this in a different way. If I was sitting down and I wanted a house to be built, and I'm looking at a bunch of different reviews of people, and this guy has nothing but amazing reviews. He's an amazing builder. But then there's a guy who is, let's say, in the construction business who his ethnicity or his religion isn't necessarily part of the construction business. And he has terrible reviews, and he's not a great construction person. I'm not going to hire the guy who can't build a house to build me a house.
Right.
The other thing, though, to bounce off of what you were kind of saying, and I think I might have found a way to make you go, okay, I understand that a little bit more. Wentworth Miller. You're familiar with that actor, Captain Cold?
Right.
He's come out as gay within the last 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. He's publicly come out and said, you know what? I'm not interested in playing straight roles anymore. I am only going to play gay roles. That is a mildly talented actor. Like, he has a career. Mm-hmm. He was on multiple successful television shows.
I'd even say he's more than mildly talented. He's a very talented actor.
Yeah. I didn't want to oversell, but
I think he's very talented.
But he's at this point in his life where he's like, you know what? I'm not doing the male straight guy role anymore. That is a difference because he had the skill to back it up. Mm-hmm. Opposed to giving someone a job based off of what they like. That's Devon. Did you hire me because I'm gay?
Yes.
I knew it. See, there you go. You proved my point.
Well,
but that's what I
no.
mean.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hired you because you can do the job, and that's the thing. And that's at the end of the day. If I've watched movies and I've seen things where at the end of the day I'll walk away from something and go, I don't know if that guy is. There's plenty of things where I've turned around and I've watched a movie where I'm like, wow, that was really cool. And I'm just completely surprised that the person's either transgender, gay, or anything else. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
You know what? I really don't care about any of this. Like, when I sit down and watch a movie, I just want to be entertained.
Yep.
I don't give a shit who's playing the part. You either did good or not. And, like, when it comes down to the semantics and the politics of all this shit, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Completely with you.
Yeah.
But
what I was saying from the very beginning.
That I don't
get an
have
opinion.
a say in any of this anymore.
Right.
So,
With your.
I just adhere to that rule.
But here's the thing. I mean,
I adhere to that
it's
rule.
Hollywood. At the end of the day, you're going to have like a crap ton of actors knocking down on your door no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's someone that falls within that community that can carry a scene. Like, to just skip to someone else because of the A-list name is being called out in this very moment for just being a cheap move. And I understand the aggravation from that. Now, as someone who has Asperger's, they had that show about the doctor a little while ago, Dr. Feelgood or whatever. Or no, it was not Dr. Feelgood.
I've got real confused.
Dr.
Too.
something.
I think it's just called
recently.
The Doctor.
I do love Motley Crue. Just throwing that out there.
No,
Yeah.
you talk about you talking ABC's The Doctor.
It's something. It was about this kid genius, but he's autistic.
Yeah,
and
the Doctor.
The Doctor.
Yeah, there was like a small movement. Personally,
right?
I don't care. Like, because there was a movement because the actor portraying him is not actually autistic. Personally, I mean, like if he does a good job, that's fine with me. It's hard to, like, that's a weird question to ask someone and not something you should be asking someone. Like when it comes to something of disabilities or sexuality, it's very inappropriate for a potential employer to go, "Are you gay?" Like,
oh God, I'd kill for
See,
someone
now
to have
you've
asked
just
me
gone
that.
completely opposite in your argument, because that's exactly what they did with the whole Oscar Isaacs thing. They made a point about what his religious preferences were and why he doesn't get a role based off of that. You just went completely opposite of your previous argument.
Well, if I can finish, you want to have something in the casting notice instead of having that, like asking someone an audition, like to advertise that this character falls within this community.
But it's not even.
And we're looking for an actor that also falls within that community.
But that's the thing. But when they were casting the character, they didn't care because it's not part of the character. It's part of the character in such a small way that it was a one note in a one issue published in the 1970s.
If you were
well,
to,
for Oscar Isaac, yes, but
If-
I'm talking about characters where this matters a lot more.
If you were to come to me, and I'm just picking a Marvel predominant, Ben Grimm, Kitty Pryde, and go, we are looking for someone of the Jewish faith to play this character. Their faiths are massively important to to those two characters.
Yeah.
I could get that a lot more.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things where it's like, dude, no, you're friggin' source material here. Like,
Yeah.
you have two owners of a comic shop that have been reading Moon Knight for how long here, people?
I'm a big Moon Knight fan.
Exactly.
He's a bigger
And
Moon Knight
you,
fan.
you had no idea the character
No
was
idea.
Jewish.
None whatsoever.
That's interesting to me that this is such a minute thing
You know,
that has
I
cost,
mean,
it's
are we-
completely irrelevant.
that
I mean,
has
but-
cost someone a job.
But here's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
Well-
getting again. It's getting to such extremes now. Where are we gonna start? I mean, should they scrap the Rob Pattinson Batman movie? Is Rob Pattinson even an orphan? Does he
Yeah.
even know what it means to be an orphan?
I love that.
I mean, are we gonna sit there and go, Selena Kyle? Like, well, did you grow up in the streets? Were you a thief for most of your life?
Or a hooker.
I
depending on
want
what version
to.
you
I want to
want.
clarify that I'm not arguing,
No.
against the Oscar Isaac did. Like that was stupid. I'm saying, when it comes to something, a little more serious, like the Scarlett Johansson situations.
The one I'm gonna call odd, because I count it as a futuristic world where
Maybe
Jet
the Ghost in the
raised-
Shell when she was a robot, because isn't she supposed to be a robot?
She's an android.
Android.
Android,
Yeah,
whatever. Like that's
Everyone for
fine.
that one, everyone has cybernetic enhancements, and how I looked at that as the viewer, and even the anime, like straight up the anime, was the fact that she turned or that the technical enhancements that were made to the body eradicated race.
Yeah, if you
That's
look
how
at
I
the,
look
if you
at
look
it.
at the Major in the original anime, you can't identify any racial
No.
characteristic.
And I mean,
on
and
her
the
whatsoever.
creator even said, like, I drew all the characters.
Exactly.
Anyone with cybernetic enhancements, I drew pretty much ambiguous because they don't believe in it anymore.
yeah.
Right.
And the other thing too, and again, like the one thing is like, the whole Ghost in the Shell thing was ridiculous.
I
You know what
love
this is all
that
coming
movie.
down to? Deadpool ruined Domino.
Yeah, actually, there is actually an argument to be made there
Oh.
specifically, and I'm not talking about because of the casting of the actors.
The
But because of
stunt.
the casting of the actors, they had to hire a stunt woman who wasn't qualified, and she died.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yes, the one of the motorcycle stunts.
Yep.
Because the thing was that they refused the production crew, the directors and everybody involved were like, no, we're not going to just put someone in a bodysuit to do it. We want someone who's her exact build and everything because we don't want to do the work in post production. And they killed her
Well, the other
because she
problem-
couldn't do the stunt.
The
That's
biggest problem to
interesting.
me is that they turned a character that I love into something I didn't even recognize. Like,
Yeah, Domino was not Domino
No.
in that.
That
yeah.
sounds like just a
For
poor
me,
decision on the crew's part to select someone
well,
who was
it was a
unqualified.
big thing when it first was announced. Like, and if you were a white male, you could not say shit about that.
Well, here's the
without
thing, and
being wrong.
but you know what? And I
It's
said
it
this,
just wasn't it wasn't the character.
No, I
grew up
know,
with.
I've
but
heard.
again, here's the other
I
thing too.
still had fun with it.
And this is my other thing too, and I've actually said this on the podcast before about the Domino thing. Why didn't you just paint her. Like Domino that's makeup.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. She could have been whatever.
Yeah, Domino
color,
could have been
like,
any
as an
race you
actress.
wanted the actress to be, but she's white. I mean, like chalk white,
She's-
not like
She's like a
Caucasian.
crayon
Yeah, like a
she's
crayon or
colored.
a snowstorm.
or a comic book box.
Yeah.
But what this really comes down to is that I feel like the group of people I come from are definitely not represented properly in movies. Unless you are Sam Elliott, John Hurt,
God, I love me some
Tom
Sam
Selleck,
Elliott.
Wilford Brimley.
Guys with mustaches.
Yeah,
Man
mustachioed
with a
individuals.
mustache.
That's right.
I love you.
Fucking
I
with
love you.
perpetrating.
Yep.
As much as I'm also, do you have anything else to add to this?
No,
I
that was
love
it.
this. As much as I love this lively debate,
Yeah, we gotta.
I do want to know what pile is sitting in Devon's.
Oh, yeah. The the last thing like we always do is are the books that we want to like recommend and things like that. There's a new book out that I'm actually really digging. It's called first issue just came out. It's called Erratic. It's by Carrie Andrews, and for a lot of people who have been around in the comic world for a while, reading comics, you know Carrie Andrews. And the book, so
Ooh, bless
the
you.
book is probably like
It's beautiful.
it's a beautiful book, and it has probably the best 2-page opener that I've read in a really long time. So you got this character who's like, soaring over, like is like plummeting up around all these buildings, and it starts off with, it's what if you had the power to do things no one else could? What if that ultimate power came with limits? What if you were 15 years old and had 10 minutes to save the world? And then we go to the next page, and it's this giant page of this girl plummeting with the super character going after her, and it says, "I've got 15 seconds left to save her." And that's the opener of the book. And the premise is that this character gets these superpowers, and they can only activate their powers for 10 minutes at a time. And it's like, what do you do? Is 10 minutes enough to do anything? Can you save the world in 10 minutes? And when you get down to that point, this is like, it's almost like having
How long is your recharge time?
they haven't gotten to that specific point yet, because the first issue is kind of like it opens with that, and then the rest of the issue is kind of an origin issue.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten to the recharge time yet. I imagine it must probably be something in the line of like 24 hours.
So it's Rex Tyler.
Yeah.
It's just the cliche of like, I have a superpower but can only use it for X amount of minutes.
But yeah,
But it
It's like if
sounds
you're an
interesting.
iPhone owner,
Well,
you get
it's-
about 10 minutes a day out of the
It's
phone.
Yeah.
it's
Or
what
it
made the
dies.
original Hawk and Dove fun characters, because they could only activate their powers when there was extreme danger around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then it went away as soon as the danger had passed.
So, but yeah, so right now, and the book is written and drawn by Carrie Andrews. Carrie Andrews recently,
Cover's
did.
hella beautiful.
Oh yeah, both covers were.
Yep.
But it harkens back to the classic, like the kid who gets the superpowers, 15-year-old kid, that's Peter Parker
Peter
right
Parker.
there, and has all the power in the world, but what do you do?
Johnny Blaze.
That's not how that.
That's not how that
how
worked
that
at
worked.
all.
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Blaze. Listen, I love Johnny Blaze too, but that's not how that worked. But yeah, I would definitely.
Who's the company?
It's AWA.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
AWA.
But definitely, I would definitely recommend it. It's a fun book. It's really beautifully drawn. It's a 5-issue miniseries. I'm hoping that it does well enough to where we're going to be getting more of it, because it's so far super interesting. The other book that I'm reading is The Perhapanauts. For everyone out there, Perhapanauts is done by Todd Zago, who is very popular from Spider-Man fame. Him and his artist Craig Russo. This is a series that they did a little while back that they're now doing a revival on. It's being done by Scout Comics through their Black Caravan imprint, and basically it's kind of like it's very it's got like a kind of like an X-Files meets the BPRD vibe. And it's also like kind of it's also a lot of like just a lot of lighthearted fun too. I mean, the team consists of, characters like a chupacabra, a Sasquatch, a ghost.
So Jeremy's fantasies.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. And this first issue is really fun because it kind of reintroduces you to these characters. And they're gonna be putting out a whole lot more stuff in the coming months. The series is getting re-released in new trade paperbacks, so it's gonna be really cool. And I mean it's a team with a chupacabra on it whose name is Chubby. Like, what more can you ask for?
Just to be clear, though, you are reading this because of enjoyment, not just because Todd DeZago is one of the coolest creators alive.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
He says question.
No, I really do love the it's just an enjoyable, fun series, and it's just like, you take this idea of like these hardcore supernatural things, like things that are like super like scary and intimidating, and you add like a fun, lighthearted twist to it too, while still having the stakes be pretty high. It's a fun story, fun book. But yeah.
What about you, Jeremy? What have you been reading?
Because I hadn't read anything this week. I've just been so busy doing things. I have a giant stack of stuff that I listed off last week that I still need to get to, and I'm really excited to get some of that reading in tomorrow morning. Actually, the first thing I want to do is read all of X of Swords, so I can...
Do you?
Yes, no, I would love to get through that at this point. I'm really hoping at some point the X-Men world will mean something to me other than just, characters that can never die.
This is not your event, then.
I keep thinking to myself, like, if you're a kid and you're just getting into X-Men, like, how is it exciting? Nothing ever happens.
Yeah, they can't die. They're
It's just,
Yeah.
and this is.
I mean, if
these
you're
don't read comics
if you're
anymore.
super, I mean, if you're
no
super,
stakes.
Yeah.
yeah. But if you're a real big fan of Charles Manson, this is the X book for you.
What? No. Jesus. What about you, Steve? What'd you read this week?
Black Widow, which for people who are reading Black Widow, February it is going on hiatus. It will return in what's next month, March. Yes, I had to think about that. That's sad. With Black Widow, though, and what I'm noticing with Marvel, their solo books that are away from events and teams, I am gravitating more towards.
They're great, but they also keep canceling them.
Yes, but like Black Widow.
Not Daredevil.
But Black Widow, Daredevil, Spider-Woman is by far one of my favorite titles that I'm reading. But Black Widow, Kelly Thompson is friggin' killing it.
And it's another one with a fantastic cover.
Oh, not only a fantastic cover, but you're talking about like these great spy villains that have all come together. The Lion, Viper's back.
Yep.
Or what were you calling her, Madam Viper? Madam Viper's
Madam
back.
Hydra.
Madam Hydra.
Yes.
Madam Viper.
But Viper's back.
I thought they actually split those characters into two different
I
characters.
don't
Red, they
know if
did.
they did.
Red
Yeah.
Guardian is back. Like, the Black Widow stuff is just so
Just
much
in
fun.
time for the movie not to come out.
Yeah.
I was just saying that I thought the cover was really cool because it's one half domestic bliss, one half assassin on the cover, and that's an interesting take for Natasha.
I do want to point out, like, I mean, and now I'm not reading
the
it.
nullified cover was.
It was beautiful. I think that was a Ken Lashley.
I'm not reading the Black Widow book, so you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong about this. But I'm getting a very like Kelly Thompson was like sitting down one day reading Lady Killer by Joelle Jones. And
For
was
that
like,
cover, certainly.
how is
For the book, no.
Okay.
Because the book, Lady Killer is a housewife. In this story, Natasha does not know who she is. She has a family, a child, and she's an architect in San Diego.
All right, we'll worry about that later.
Oh, she's back in San Diego.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
Actually, I took Jeremy's recommendation from last week, and I went through and I read Inkblot, which I'm really thoroughly enjoying. Small vignettes, interesting demonic cat. If you own a cat yourself, you probably will enjoy it because it seems like things your actual cat might do. Mm-hmm. But he's an interesting little critter.
I saw you were checking out Batman.
I've been looking at that new retcon character they shoved in there, the Ghostmaker. I'm not sure how I feel about it still. There's an odd vibe between the friendship between him and Bruce that makes me go, this is another weird one. But I thought the art for the character was outstanding, and that's really why I just keep looking at it. Because when something is absolutely beautiful like that, I tend to gravitate toward it and look at it again.
So,
All right.
yeah, no, that's where we're at. So yeah, for everyone out there, this has been another October Country Comics podcast.
Iron Man. Everybody should read Iron Man right now.
And yeah, everyone
That's
should read
it.
Iron
Just
Man.
End it.
Bye.
Bye.